Andrew Shepard, President of the United States, was a man who knew that his job required total dedication. His days were filled with endless meetings, sessions, and dealing with important issues. He was a Democrat and his approval rating was aiming for 63%, but in order to do so, a moderate anti-crime bill had to be passed. This bill was supported reluctantly by both parties. Conservatives thought it was too soft and liberals too harsh. Confusion reigned in the White House. McInerney, the president's chief of staff and his best friend, tried to keep things under control. He was the man who could calm any situation and steer it in the right direction. Together with his team, they worked to find a compromise between different interest groups. One day at a White House fundraiser, Andrew met Sydney Wade, a lobbyist for an environmental organization. She was an intelligent, beautiful, and confident woman. Their meeting was casual, but it quickly developed into a deeper relationship. They began spending more time together, discussing their views on life and politics. Andrew was fascinated by her passion for environmentalism and her desire to make the world a better place. Sydney was also impressed with Andrew. He was not only a president, but a man who truly cared about his people. However, their relationship became the focus of media attention. The reporters started asking questions, and this created tension for both Andrew and Sydney. They realized that their relationship could affect both of their jobs. One evening, as they were walking through the White House garden, Andrew confided in Sydney that he was afraid of how their affair might affect his work. He told her that he wanted to be honest with his constituents and didn't want his personal life to be the subject of speculation. Sydney replied that she's worried too, but believes their feelings are real and worth fighting for. Meanwhile, in the White House, the difficulties continued. Congressman Louis Rogers, the leader of the opposition, began a campaign against Andrew. He used their relationship with Sydney to smear the president and undermine his authority. Rogers claimed that Andrew was using his power to influence environmental decisions in favor of his girlfriend. This set off a wave of criticism against the president. McInerney was concerned about the situation and suggested that Andrew end his relationship with Sydney for the sake of preserving his ratings. But Andrew refused. He said that he couldn't give up his feelings and that he was willing to fight for what he believed in. He decided to go in front of the country and explain his position. In his address to the nation, Andrew said that he is a human being first and foremost and that he has a right to privacy. He emphasized that his decisions will always be based on what is best for the country and not on personal interests. He also said that he will continue to fight for laws that will protect the environment because it is important for the future. His words drew mixed reactions. Some people supported him, while others remained skeptical. But Andrew was confident in his decision. He knew he would have to face the consequences, but he was ready for it. Sydney was grateful for his support, too. She realized that their relationship was worth fighting for. They decided to continue seeing each other despite the pressure from the public and political circles. However, the situation continued to get more complicated. Louis Rogers wasn't going to stop. He launched a new campaign aimed at discrediting Andrew's administration. He began spreading rumors of corruption and abuse of power. This created even more tension within the White House. McInerney again tried to convince Andrew to abandon his relationship with Sydney, but the president was adamant. He said he would not let politics ruin his personal life. He decided to act decisively and introduced a new bill to protect the environment. This bill became a symbol of his fight for what he believed in. When the bill was introduced, it sparked a heated debate in Congress. Many lawmakers opposed it, believing it was too radical. But Andrew was convinced that this law was necessary for the future of the country. He addressed the nation once again, explaining why this law was so important. His speech was emotional and sincere. He talked about how everyone has the right to clean air and water, and that the government should do everything possible to protect these rights. His words moved many people, and it soon became clear that the bill would gain support. Despite all the difficulties, Andrew and Sydney continued their fight. They knew that their relationship would not be easy, but they were willing to overcome all obstacles together. They found strength in their love and support for each other. Eventually, the bill was passed. It was a great success for Andrew's administration and a step forward for environmental protection. People began to see him as a leader who truly cared about the future of the country. Andrew and Sydney were able to overcome all the difficulties and stay together. They realized that their love was stronger than all the political games and public pressure. They continued to work on their business, but now as a couple who were ready to overcome any obstacles on the way to their goals. Their story became an example of how it is possible to combine personal life and political career without losing both. They showed that even in the most difficult conditions one can find the strength to fight and achieve one's goals. Their relationship became a symbol of hope and belief that love can conquer everything.